This relaxation exercise is called the Deepening exercise. Find a quiet spot where you can rest in relative comfort for 20 to 30 minutes. You might sit in a chair or lie down. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. And then take a few deep cleansing breaths, which always prepares you and your body for relaxation. Noticing the movement of the breath into your lungs and out of the body, always at a level that's comfortable for you. Now, for this exercise, I'd like you to begin by focusing your eyes on a spot that is comfortable for you. Focus on a spot either on the wall in front of you or on the ceiling if you happen to be lying down. Really stare at that spot. The point of staring is not to really focus on a visual image, but to steady your eyes on that spot, on the wall or ceiling, so that they don't blink as much, so that you're not distracted by other images, so that you can just listen to my voice and pay attention to my suggestions as you continue staring at the spot. You may be aware of your slow and steady breathing. That should be beginning to feel fairly natural as part of your relaxation response. You may be aware of having a desire for your eyes to close. They might be getting dry or itchy. They might want to blink. They might be watering just a bit. And of course, you can close them anytime you need to. But for an experiment, you might want to keep them open just a little bit longer, staring at the spot and listening to my voice, breathing deep and slow and regular. And of course, when you're ready, just let your eyes naturally close very gently. And be aware of the sensation of the eyelids as they close. Be aware of the increased comfort. And then, once you don't have anything visual coming in from the outside, turning your attention inward. Breathing deep and slow and regular. Focusing your awareness on your breathing and my voice. I'd like to invite you to experiment with the possibility of going deeper into this sense of relaxation that you've been working on the past several weeks now. This deepening exercise will actually go down several levels. We'll experiment with going down and coming up and going down until you find the level that you're comfortable with for today, knowing that you can continue to experiment with different levels of deepening your relaxation. For now, as best you can, put your body into the state of relaxation that you've been working on for the past several weeks. Whatever suggestions, images, or awarenesses that seem to have worked for you best. Begin to put your body into a state of pleasant, restful, rejuvenating relaxation. Notice any sensations of tension or tightness in any parts of your body, and suggest to those areas that they can let go. the muscles can unwind and relax. Notice any areas of discomfort, perhaps pain, perhaps a sensation that you carry around with you pretty much 24 hours a day. Or perhaps this is a sensation that you weren't really aware of until I suggested that you focus your awareness. If you did become aware of an area of your body where there are painful sensations, just experiment for a moment with breathing into that part of your body. Being aware of the sensation, but breathing into that part of your body as if you're giving that sensation some space, some lightness. And now, having achieved some level of relaxation, I'd like you to experiment with a method that we use to help you deepen your relaxation. So typically, we imagine either an elevator or a staircase. Think about which you would be more comfortable with, going down on an elevator or going down on a staircase. Either way, it's perfectly safe. It's your elevator. You get to design it the way you want to. It's your staircase. You get to design a sturdy, safe staircase with a good, sturdy handrail. And now consider what level of relaxation you are at this moment. 0 being totally relaxed and 10 being very tense. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just another experiment. And let's just say you're at a 5, sort of medium, between tense and relaxed. You might want to visualize yourself on that elevator on the 5th floor. And if you're using a staircase, you might want to visualize yourself standing on step 5. You've gone down 5 steps from the top of the steps, and there you are on the elevator or the staircase. And just have a look around. This is your staircase, your elevator. Allow yourself to create an image, to create a situation that's restful and positive and helpful to you. It might be a staircase from your childhood that you remember fondly, or it may be a totally made-up staircase. If you're on an elevator, maybe the wall of the elevator is clear glass, and you can see out on a beautiful field of flowers. Spend a moment creating that image for yourself. And now, when you're ready, if you'd like to, experiment with going down 1 level, as slowly and as gradually as you'd like to. Descend 1 level deeper into relaxation, focused awareness, and ability to concentrate on my voice and my suggestions. See how that feels. You may not feel any difference at all, or you may feel a fairly intense difference. Be aware that at any time you can always go up the scale, as well as down the scale, up the staircase or down the staircase, because you're in charge of this experiment. And if you care to go down one more step, one more flight in the elevator, and just experiment with going down 2 or 3 steps, as much or as little as you'd like to, until you reach the point where you're as comfortable to stay for now. When you reach that point, just take a look around. Make a mental note of what you see. Remember creating your image to be a positive, helpful, hopeful, relaxing image. One that nourishes you and sustains you. What do you see? Some of the things that you see may surprise you. You may not have thought about them in a long time. Or they may be new images for you. Really see if you can focus on the image so that it's real for you. Knowing that any time you can change the image, and you can also go up the stairs or up the elevator, experimenting with different levels of this relaxation response. And if you've gotten to the level where you're comfortable for today, for this experiment, just rest and rejuvenate yourself here while I make a few more suggestions. Now you're either sitting in a chair or lying down, as comfortable as you can be. I'd like you to experiment with the idea that the chair or the bed or the recliner or the floor that's supporting your body is actually a huge tension-absorbing cloud, almost like a sponge. A sponge like one that soaks up water. But in this case, the sponge is soaking up tension. Maybe the sponge is soaking up feelings of fatigue or tiredness. Maybe the sponge is soaking up pain sensations, as if you're letting those sensations of tension, tiredness, and discomfort ease through your body and release into the sponge. And allowing that cloud that's like a sponge to soak up those sensations away from your body. Really see if you can visualize in your mind's eye floating on this huge tension-absorbing, pain-absorbing, tiredness-absorbing cloud. Your body might even begin to feel light and lighter than normal. And if it does, that's okay. It's part of the experiment. It's not right or wrong to feel that way. Just be aware of whatever it is that happens. And if you're experimenting with your pain sensations, you might focus on what your pain feels like at this moment. For example, when it's bad, it might feel like a heavy black metal ball, or maybe a metal with jagged edges. What does your pain feel like at this moment? Once you have a sense of that, you might want to experiment with changing the sensations in your mind by changing the image. If your pain is a heavy, black, jagged edge piece of metal, you might want to experiment with changing the image to be more rounded, lightening it, making it a softer gray, making it plastic instead of metal, rounding the edges, lightening it, softening it. In your mind, only in your mind. And yet, as you experiment, you might be interested to find that those mind experiments can actually influence what you feel in your body. Just experiment with that for a minute or two. If your pain has a temperature, if it's hot pain, experiment with cooling it down. If it's cold pain, experiment with warming it up. You may have a very big change in the sensations that you experience, or a little bit, or nothing at all. There's no right or wrong, just whatever happens. Now, you've been sort of hanging out at the same level for a few minutes now, and in a moment we're going to go back up to the level that you began with, a relatively relaxed but mild level of relaxation perhaps. But before we do, look around in your mind. Look at the visual images that are part of your scene from the elevator or the staircase. Describe it to yourself in your mind's eye in as much detail as you can get to. Remember, these are your images. You're completely in charge. And therefore you're painting yourself an image that is helpful and restful and positive, rejuvenating. And when you're ready, you can experiment with going back up the floors. Traveling, if you're on the stairs, is little or no effort. The elevator moves silently and freely up to the level that you began. And as you get to that level, the level where you began the relaxation exercise, bring your awareness back into your surroundings. You might want to wiggle your toes or flex your arms, shrug your shoulders a little bit. Take a good yawn. Be aware of your breathing again, always having been breathing. Now bringing your awareness to that life force of breathing. And become more aware of my voice, more aware of perhaps the sounds around you that had faded into the distance, more aware of your own mind, already starting to process this exercise. And when you're ready, at your own pace, you can just allow your eyes to open back into the room, refreshed, relaxed, and alert.